I can feel like 80 rats in my Marys. Me and Drizzy back to back, it's getting scary. If you fucking with my eyes, just don't come near me. Put some bins all on your head like Jason Terry. Whoa.
2020, man. It's a wrap for that.
It's a wrap. It is a wrap. You guys, man, we're about to be entering 2021. You already know the Faison View podcast is nothing but elevating. As you see, my boy has it on his hat. Game Shift, man. Game Shift. Check up top will be coming soon, 2021. Make sure you go shop Color Power. Get your handcrafted bracelets, jewelry, anklets, waist beads. Get all that, man. Handcrafted by you.
Just because Christmas is over don't mean people don't want gifts.
For sure. And you know, we branding, man. We branding our black brothers, man. Our black brothers and sisters. BSBD. Be safe. Be dangerous, man. So make sure you go shop that as well. So we coming right into the episode. Pick your 3 best years of the decade. Because officially the decade is over now. It's 10 years, the decade is over now. So will Clubhouse take over all social media platforms in the near future? If you haven't heard about Clubhouse, hey, it's going up. So we're going to discuss that. Next, we've done this before on this podcast, but it's more appropriate to do it now because it's actually the finished product.
Yeah, the decade is now over. It wasn't over when we thought it was at the time.
For sure, because 10 years is officially the end of the decade. So we're going to talk about the best albums of the decade. Shoot, and lastly, would you rather have unlimited international first class tickets or never have to pay for fast food or restaurants ever again? So let's get straight to it, brother. Let's get straight to it. Pick your 3 best years of the decade. What's your 3? I got my 3 all right.
You wanna go first?
Yeah, of course. My 3. First, I gotta say the year my son was born, just automatic. 2017. 2017 for sure was a roller coaster year, but it was an amazing year too because that's the year I also graduated college. And I just elevated in life and kept it pushing after that. I had my beautiful, amazing son. Next, 2013. 2013 it just really, to me, can't be matched. That year was just amazing in all type of facets, all type of ways. I also graduated from high school. And you just being 18 and you really just exploring it and wanting to live life, and then you enter in college, and then the summer before college, it was just an experience, man. That time, it can't be replaced. And that was an amazing time within music. That was an amazing time within the economy. It was a lot of good things going on in 2013 that I really liked. And lastly, I would say 2015. 2015 was a real good year. It was a real good year because that's when I started to balance my life and understand what I wanted to do and what my purpose was. Being in my sophomore going to junior year in college, you really start to understand, hey, look, time is ticking, bro. You got to understand what you want to do in life. So those 3 years has been an amazing blessing to me, man. And 2013 starting it off, man, it's been amazing since. So shout out to this decade, because this decade has been through so many roller coaster trials and tribulations, and it feels crazy because even like saying 2010 and 2011 and 12, it's like, dang, like this was this decade, yeah, bro. Like it just feels surreal, man. So those are my 3 years of the decade. What are yours, Brody?
Well, I'm definitely gonna go with this year. As much as this year sucked for me, I always gotta say this year, because this year I finally was able to start Game Shift, and I waited 3 years after I graduated in order for me to even just get started. And sometimes I wake up and just can't believe I'm actually like in the process of making my first game. So definitely 2020, man. I'm always gonna remember 2020 because that was the start of my company, and I'll always be able to look back on that. 2016, because that was the beginning of senior year of college. Football season finally got to get a chance to go on the field, through like ups and downs of just not being able to get recognized and finally get on the field, even through like getting injured that year and not getting to play the whole year. Still, like, I think one thing my head coach said, Hugh, I'm just like, you're a great guy. You do all the right things on and off the field. I was just happy you finally got your chance to like do something as you should have did before. So, absolutely. I got to be grateful for that year, 2016. Finally being a senior in college, having that authority like over like all the young dudes on the team and stuff like that. And I don't know, you just move different when you in your senior year and stuff. When you're in your last year, you just move differently. And so football season for me for that one. And I'm gonna go with 2013 as well, because just like you said, that was our last year in high school, and like I said, you just move differently. If you do high school right, senior year is like a breeze.
Yeah,
because you can take whatever class you want, because you passed all the classes you already had to pass. Did you pass all your HSAs? You were straight on that. If you really could finesse it, I couldn't. But if you really could finesse it, you could have the half day. You know, so the senior year was definitely like a good year, and especially for me, because it was like I finally was starting to come into my own identity as far as like fashion is concerned. Like I've always had an affinity for like fly clothes and fly stuff, but I never could like afford it and stuff like that. My parents didn't want to buy it, so like senior year, I was finally in a place where I could like really get into my bag. That was like the beginning of like me and my love for fashion. Like I was finally getting swaggy, if you feel what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
So yeah, those are my 3 years for sure.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. And I like you speaking about college and then the plight that you had as a football player. I didn't speak on that, but those most, and it's crazy because I named 2013, 15, 17. Those were within my college days, and I felt like college changed my whole trajectory of life and how I look at things. And honestly, experiencing new people, understanding new people, and then me being a captain on the team. And really, me playing all positions and doing what I did, man, it was just a blessing. And I had amazing friends and really just family there that just held me high and in high regard, because we were both in Massachusetts. Me and you went to school at rival schools at that down the street, and we know each other. You know, we brothers way before college. So it's like it's a crazy experience. And it was just like, to Hugh's point, like just to be a senior or be an upperclassman, and then, you know, seeing the young ones and teaching them and making sure they understand what life is about, not just college, and understanding that you have to make sacrifices in order to get what you want in life, man. So just college, and you always hear the phrase like certain college friends, and the college friends, they're gonna be your friends for life. I do have that bond too, and that's a blessing. It's a blessing.
It's difficult when you out of state, but you know, you always keep it going. You know, so it is accurate. It's definitely accurate.
Exactly. So
we actually played our last college game against each other.
Exactly.
That was crazy.
So which is a beautiful thing too.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful thing, man. We come so far. So those are both our best 3 years, man. Definitely blessings to this decade, man. We really appreciate even being here, and God willingly, thank God, first and foremost. So next we're gonna talk about will Clubhouse take over all social media platforms in the near future. If you haven't heard about CH and the app and what it brings, you really need to look into it and get hip and ask a friend to get you invited, because
it's only in beta mode. It's invite only, man.
It is in beta mode.
You're either cool or you're not. It's like,
yeah, but honestly, and also like what I like, it's pros and cons to the app, of course, because when you first get on it, it's gonna be pros and cons, things you do like and don't. But one thing that I say that is very, very good about the app is the networking and what you can do. And just speaking to this point, when me and Hugh first joined and got on, Key Wayne, who is a legendary producer.
If you don't know who Key Wayne is, go look up anything Big Sean related, man.
And just look it up and look up
Amen
his whole catalog.
Key Wayne.
Absolutely. So, and it's just like opening the doors, because it's just like the people you talk to. Like Key Wayne offered Hugh, you know, a spot on his game shift, and within, you know, trying to do the audio and trying to do the beats and trying to do the music within his game shift game. So it's like, it's so dope, because you don't know who you can be in a room with, and it also teaches us and shows us that we are all human beings. It doesn't matter if this person's a celebrity or anything. We all like-minded. We all human beings. We all have the same 24. Cliche it may sound, it's the truth. So like, it's a blessing to have CH. And honestly, if you know a friend that's on it, it's really important for you to get on it, because it's network purposes. I've gotten more subscribers to the Faison View podcast. I've gotten more purchases from Color Power, and just more eyes on me, and that's what I like. And just for everybody else, it's really about who you know and not what you know, honestly. And I feel like the question is posed because we haven't had an app to, like, you know, take or shift the culture like like Instagram has in a long time, honestly, because Twitter and Facebook were out before Instagram. So we've already come accustomed to those apps. You know, Facebook is more so the OG app. Twitter is more so of like the talkative, everybody you know what I'm saying, vibe. It's like kind of like the family vibe in a way. Instagram is really just honestly, it's all in one with Instagram, and that's amazing that we have Instagram. But the question is posed because this is it's a different way to interact. You're not looking at pictures, you're not looking at videos. You just hear audio. You hear people talking and discussing their views, their opinions, their likes, dislikes, and it's really good because you get to step out your own realm of things. You talking to people from all different places, and you can have an understanding about it. So like in the near future, I do feel like Clubhouse will start taking over the platforms, and I feel like Instagram will still be there because you linking your Instagram to it that's strictly business.
Facts.
It's strictly business. And I feel like a lot of people just need to be mindful about their pages and the content. It's not judging on what you put out there, but now is the time for really you to be branding and promoting whatever product or whatever you do, because people are looking out here.
Facts.
So what do you think, bro?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Cause I'm on Clubhouse too, and you already gave all the pros, so I'm gonna give the cons.
Go ahead, tell me.
It's Clubhouse is one of those apps. It's like you really got to navigate, what's for you on there.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, depending on who you are, it could be nothing for you. Like, it's a lot of people on there on demon time. It's just like, almost every other room is like that. You find like many celebrities are on there, and that's the type of time they on. And it's like, it'd be early in the morning. I'd be like, dang, it's 9 a.m. Y'all on demon time at 9? Like, come on, man, I got nothing to do.
And people not sleeping too.
Yeah, and it's like you got people who stay up all night. You got people who name the rooms the wildest of things. Like, this is what y'all want to talk about in the middle of the day? Like, seriously? And then sometimes you can get into situations where you talk to certain people, and like maybe their opinion might rub you the wrong way. Next thing you know, you looking crazy because you arguing with somebody over the phone, through the phone. Somebody you can't even see. You don't even know that person, but you show passion to them. Right. So you got those moments like that where you can look crazy and stuff like that. And sometimes you can feel out of place because the app is in beta mode right now. And so 90% of the people that's on the app are music business people. Mm-hmm. It's like, so like for me in the video game space, as much as I love the music business, in the video game space, it's always hard for me to find a room. Cause it's like, you try to find the right room where you can promote your stuff. And it's always, I like promoting myself because it's always refreshing. People always like, oh my God, there's a black man who makes video games. So stuff like that is cool to be able to bring that space into it. But then sometimes you just find yourself like you don't fit in here. You gotta find where you gotta fit in. So there's stuff like that. And I think like the last thing is like, do I think it'll be around for a long time? Heck yeah, especially if they fix anything they got fixed and anything like that, especially with the way it's growing. Like at one point, like when I was so ignorant to Clubhouse and then ever since I got on, it's like every other day. It's like somebody that I know is getting an invite on there.
Absolutely.
But I said but like I do feel like we're reaching a point where it might get played out. If the conversations don't change, then it might reach a ceiling. Like it'll be here, but it won't. Like I don't think it'll take over Instagram and Twitter. I think it'll reach a ceiling if the conversations don't change.
And I agree to most of your points, but to combat the point about the rooms and stuff, that's also a good thing about it too, is the fact that you can create your own room.
Yeah, you can create your own
environment. And
you don't have to go into any room you don't want to go into. And you can leave whenever you want, by fault.
But I do agree with you too, because at the end of the day, what we were talking about recently, the exclusiveness of it. Yeah. Once that gets invaded, the exclusiveness of it, you're gonna get your trolls, you're gonna get everybody from all these type of different platforms to get on and start making it not fun, or not even not fun. It's just making it too serious too, because you got people that's really just too serious on that app as well too. And I'm talking about in the aspects of like trying to be moderator and trying to have control.
Yeah, everybody wants the green bean. Like we already reached that point where it's like being verified. Like having the green bean doesn't mean anything besides you can like add people to the conversation. Right. You can banish people to the audience or the gulag, or you can like, that's all it means. Like it doesn't make you special. Anybody can be a moderator in any room as long as like it's not like getting verified on Instagram. There's an actual criteria for that. And Clubhouse, anybody can be a moderator, but people have reached a point where they feel like it's got to be like the end all be like they have to have it. It's just like that serious.
Exactly. It's just that sense of control, and that's just not good for the app, because everybody is equal. We all have opinions. We all have views.
Exactly.
So I feel like that's very important. But I do feel like it is going to take over in the very much near future. But I don't feel like it's going to over its I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna oversell like Instagram or things of that nature, but it's definitely gonna make a run for people money.
It's gonna
for sure. It's gonna get jumping.
We never had an app like this before.
And that's the thing. We never had an app. It's kind of like Party House, if you guys ever heard of it, but it's never been an app. It's never been an app like this. It's similar, but it wasn't to this magnitude. So next, me and my boy Hugh, we talked about this last year. We discussed it last year. You know, just best albums of the decade. But it's more appropriate to do it now because guess what? The decade is 2010 to 2020. So we're gonna go through our list about the best albums of the decade and what you think. So me and him, we really agreed to a lot of these things. So I'm gonna just point out Drake, Nothing Was the Same 2013. Going back to that 2013 year, that was the most impactful album for me, 2013. Just straight up top to bottom, I could play that the replay value of that. Take Care of Drake.
This was the year.
We were in high school 2011, bro. It's like the feeling of that. You can go back and pinpoint the exact moment for a exact song and what you was going through.
That's why Take Care was so special, man.
Yeah,
People keep trying to ask Drake make another one. It's like he says I can't because I cannot. Like you're not with that girl you were with when that album came out. I can't create that for you.
And you can't create those moments.
Yeah, I can't do that for you. I can make the music for what you are now, but I can't make the music for where you were at that time.
And then for us, like how much we love our family, we family oriented. Like look what you've done when that came out.
Like look what you've done.
That's one of my favorites. So that might be my favorite song by Drake, just because. And that's why I respect Drake and his albums because of how vulnerable he is. And this is one of his favorite albums, which is mine too. This is a legendary album. It could be debated as one of the greatest albums, honestly. Kendrick to Pimp a Butterfly, for sure. Future DS2.
DS2 slap.
Hugh, I cannot tell you that's time and the experience of 2015. That's another reason why 2015 was so crazy. Because the music of Future that whole year, it created an aura around everything that was going on. It just was like that energy that was going on.
I still play Colossal like over and over and over again.
Colossal, Stick Talk, like we go down the list. A$AP Rocky, Long Live A$AP, which is a classic. Goldie was on that. I feel like
This was 2011?
This was 2013 or 11. This is 2011. I think I might have marked it down wrong.
I don't know.
Because you know you have with A$AP, he has like Live Long A$AP, but I think this was the 2013 Long Live A$AP.
That was his first album.
Yes,
I love that album.
So that album foreseen a lot of the things that are going on.
That's arguably a classic.
I think it is a classic because with DJ Screw influence, like with the Houston influence, and how he intersected New York and Houston, and how he combined that music. Then after that time, everybody started wearing gold, all that stuff. Like I'm talking about up north and West Coast, because down south they were always like they were wearing gold and stuff like that. So for sure. Kanye, a legend, icon, Dr. Twisted Fantasy. That music really, that particular music
that's a
changed.
top 10 rap album.
That changed the landscape of how music is listened to and made now. Dr. Twisted Fantasy is a legendary classic album because it was the future before the future was there.
Everything about it was amazing. The mixtape that came before it, I have the Good Friday mixtape. I got that on my phone.
Good Friday.
And then there was the album, and the album was like a movie soundtrack. And then he actually made a movie to the album with Selena Ebanks. You can find it on YouTube. Like I remember when he first did Runaway at the VMAs.
That was on time too.
Yeah, he comes out on stage with with the red suit, circle stage, and he just has this beat machine, and he's just hitting this one piano note over and over again. We're looking at and then he just started this and then the battery is and then that was like the first time Pusha T had like a solo. That was the first time seeing Push without Malice. It was just we had no idea. I had no idea what I was watching, but it was amazing. And then the album was just everything about the album was
musical legend. And shout out to Amber Rose, but that also put her on another plateau too when he was actually with her. And just the creative genius of that, even the album cover, we still look at that album cover. It's a legendary album cover.
Yeah,
it's just creative, man. So next, I'm not gonna go to this next because I'm gonna leave that for last. But Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap, bro.
Victory Lap, yeah. And not just because he passed, just because that album was amazing.
Amazing. And also, with Nipsey, he spoke everything he did and was going to do in Victory Lap. And that's why it's kind of so crazy and hurtful that we lost Nipsey, because he was going to lead us to the promised land. And
yeah, he finally was getting the recognition he deserved. Like for me, Victory Lap was hard to me because it was like I was always a casual fan of Nip. Like I think the first time I heard Nip was on Self-Made 2. He was on a song called Fountain of Youth. And he had like one of the hardest opening lines I ever heard. He said, "Laces in my blue chucks represent my bros first." I was like, wait, who the heck is that? And so I was always a casual fan of him. Like I heard the Marathon mixtape, I heard Crenshaw, but I wasn't like a hardcore fan. And so I remember when this album came out, everybody was talking about the album. Everybody I knew already listened to Lip. I was only a casual fan. But everyone was talking about it, all the rappers were talking about it. So I was like, you know what? Let me go play this. And then I heard it, I was like, yeah, I'm an instant fan.
And it's crazy.
And then he passed, and I was just like,
I'm about to say,
I wanted so much more. That album was amazing. Like, I was so glad I went and I listened to it.
And sadly and unfortunately, everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
But you could see that reason. You could see the plight in which he was talking and where he was going with his life. Like the marathon continues, just like the phrase, which he always said in the beginning of his career. But that being prominent in all of his career, and then him blowing up to this level, it's so unfortunate that we lost him. But we did need this album as a people, and it's thankful that we have this album to look back to before he passed away. So for sure. J. Cole, Forest Hill Drive, one of my favorite rappers for sure. For certain, Forest Hill Drive was a total movement. And I feel like in 2014 where it wasn't that much, it was music, but it wasn't that much good music to me when I look back on 2014, like album-wise. This album stood out of all of them. And
it came out
one thing about J. Cole, him going platinum, and I'm not all into numbers, just the fact that J. Cole multiple times went platinum without any features just shows you his musical talent. Like the thing that people say about J. Cole is just, he's not aggressive, he's not this, he's not that. But we need to stop comparing him to Kendrick and Drake. J. Cole is J. Cole. Like, and that's what frustrates me about the conversation dealing with J. Cole. You can say he doesn't rap better than Kendrick, but guess what? He's a GOAT in his own right. That's still like the LeBron and Kobe conversation.
J. Cole rap a lot of niggas under the table.
Exactly. And it's like who you prefer. So it's like I don't like to get in that convo with J. Cole because he's a legendary act. So
I had that.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
So, my fault. You had one more. My God.
Oh yeah, I just got one more, but this one was debatable. And then after you say that, I'm gonna talk about the Trap Soul's culture.
Right. So for me, this whole list, obviously, and then I have to add Ambition and the album About Nothing by Wale. Definitely legendary times, especially coming from the DMV with Ambition, because it was like Ambition 2011 was great because it was the return of Wale, because Wale came out 2009, and Attention Deficit is arguably a classic. Arguably, I think the only thing that ruined it was because Interscope undershipped his album. Yep. And they kind of did him dirty and they dropped
his whole career.
Yeah, it's like if more people heard that album, they would recognize like how great it is. And then he was dropping classic tapes like More About Nothing, and stuff like that. And then it was like he finally shows up again with Ross and Meek Mill, and the whole MMG clique was birthed. And they had that incredible that whole year they took over because Meek had the Dream Chasers mixtape, and then Wale dropped that album, and it was amazing. So it was like the return. It was like being from the DMV. It was like the return of Wale from Lauren for us. For sure. And then the album About Nothing is incredible conceptually and lyrically. It's like, and what blows me is like, fam, like Kendrick's in my top 5 favorite rappers. But if Kendrick made that album or Cole made that album, people would call it a classic.
Right, exactly.
And you have seen the influence. People have tried to mimic that in a way, like Ross had Chris Rock narrate one of his last few albums. Busta just had Chris Rock promote his latest album. People have tried to duplicate what Wale has done with having a comedian do their album. I think somebody had Dave Chappelle on one of their joints. Like, so it's like you see the influence within that, and Wale's been influential with in a lot of things people don't want to give him credit for. Another one I put on here, Watch the Throne. I mean, that was just an incredible time. One of the reasons why 2011 was so amazing. I mean, to see two juggernaut MCs come together and make a timeless piece of music, like that had never been seen or done before, and the tour was amazing. If I could go back, I wish I could have gone to one of those shows at that time.
Yes, sir.
So many just groundbreaking songs like Murder to Excellence, the topics they talked about. Niggas in Paris is obviously one of the greatest rap songs ever. I mean, it's one of those joints you have to play again, and again. I think it's the most played song ever at a concert. They did it 11 times in a row in Paris. Like, and then I think the last thing I have, Rodeo. Yeah, Rodeo was one of those joints. He did. Travis, you know, you kind of knew where he was headed after that album. Like, we saw the trajectory with Al Farrell and Days Before Rodeo, but when Rodeo hit, it was like, yeah, we knew, like, yeah, this guy's gonna be out here. And sure enough, he's here he is. So yeah, Rodeo was incredible, man.
And let me add to it real quick. This is one that we really sleeping on. Like, I'm telling you, really sleeping on. And they are the most influential people of this decade to me. Migos, Culture.
Culture one.
But you don't forget about Culture.
Yeah, Culture. Culture, I ain't gonna lie. I used to be a Migos hater, and then Culture came out, and I was like, you know what? These guys aren't that bad.
That Culture, bro. Oh, my. Hit top to bottom. Like, just the sound.
We played Bad and Bougie in our locker room every day. Every day. In college, in our locker room, we played Bad and Bougie all the time. We said that way all the time, like regularly.
And it's like, crazy because like the songs like Out Your Way, the songs like Culture, T-shirt, every song, I'm top to bottom hit. And everybody, hey, look, you see the sound today, you see the plight of rap, what rap is today. That's all the Migos. You know, you could be sitting with your friends and stuff like that, and we just sitting there rapping. It's da 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 da. It's Migos' influence.
Even while they said it, man, he's like, who has the most influential flow of the decade? Like Migos.
It's Migos, and it's not even close. So we gotta get them.
And that flow used to get hated on.
You gotta
a lot. I was one of I used to be one of
Snoop.
Yeah, I was one of those guys. I was one of those guys because like my thing has always been like real like rap, and so I was one of those guys that felt like hip hop was going in the wrong direction. Mumble rap is terrible. But over time, I had to learn to appreciate where hip hop was going and how it was elevating, and realize that, you know, this is not taking over lyrical rap. It's just another part of hip hop and how hip hop was growing. And I had to see all that it was doing, like all the influence and the music. The music was good. I couldn't deny that. Like, and so like I'm definitely not that person anymore. And I think Culture was one of those albums that kind of helped me like change my way of thinking.
Yep. I agree with that. That's a good point, Hugh. That's a good point. Cause you was like fixated on just rap.
Yeah,
Culture came out, you like, okay, cool. And that's what made you, you know, even more comfortable listening to like Future DS2 and stuff like that, because the level of music was changing. So this is one, and before I'm gonna say.
Oh wait, I can't believe I didn't say this. We gonna get crucified. We don't say it. Good Kid, Mad City.
Oh yeah, okay.
If we don't mention that out, we're gonna get crucified.
Yeah.
Good Kid, Mad City.
And it's funny that you say
to
that.
me, it's top 10 all time.
Do you think it's better than To Pimp a Butterfly?
Yes.
Okay. So that's crazy because I was like, it's funny because it's not like that I didn't want to include it. It was like I wanted to pick one or another.
I think it's better because musically it's better.
Yeah,
but
I think so too.
I think that's the only thing that people are on the fence about To Pimp a Butterfly, because they felt like musically it was like a little different than what they were expecting. But the music was still good, and I think what made it a classic was conceptually it was amazing, and it was ahead of its time.
Yeah, and
like when you think of
about
everything that we've gone through so far, Kendrick was really on it in 2015, and he gave us the song. Him and Pharrell, they gave us our generation's "Fight the Power." "Fight the Power" is arguably the greatest rap song ever. You know, with All Right is, you know, was one of those joints. So yeah, that's why I think that's definitely one of the reasons why like that album is so highly regarded. But if we're comparing it to that first joint, I think the first joint has all of that. But musically, it was just better.
And it's not an album, but it's still Section 80. You know, Kendrick is Kendrick, man.
Exactly.
Lord. So Frank Ocean, Channel Orange is another one for me. Channel Orange, to me, changed the landscape of how R&B is received and listened to since that album. We've been looking and searching for that type of music for a long time now, bro. Even though we do have amazing acts. We have amazing R&B.
I feel like Black is kind of like Frank in a way.
And I like Frank. That's a good one. That's a good one too, bro. I never even thought about that. But Frank Ocean definitely changed the game with Channel Orange.
Beautiful. What's the joint Weeknd did? Beautiful Nightmare.
What's it called? Oh my. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I
know the song. I was gonna add The Weeknd, even though it's a mixtape, but it did happen in 2011. I would House of Balloons. For certain.
I think it was called A Beautiful Nightmare. That joint with Perfect. Earned It is on there.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it is though.
Earned It is on there.
You could put that.
Yeah, that was one of those joints.
That was on every movie, everything, everywhere.
Every movie. that album got played a lot.
So what I was debating with my friends, and we were just having a conversation. And they are in this album of the decade for sure. Bryson Tiller, Trap Soul, and SZA, Control. So we were discussing
Shout out
this.
to Rihanna Anti too.
Yeah, and shout out to Anti, shout out to Beyonce Lemonade. We're not trying to miss them, but the Trap Soul and what I was alluding to, and the reason why I edged it, but I'm not edging it for the sense of artistry, because SZA, she's an amazing artist. She took Control to a whole nother place. Broken Clocks, Weekend. Those songs are gonna like play forever. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Supermodel.
Yeah, Supermodel. I'm not dismissing that at all. But with Trap Soul, the reason why it was so impactful to me is because it's honestly, for me, I never heard anything of that nature. I'm being real. Everybody was saying, "Oh well, Drake, da da da." I understand that you can hear Drake influencing Bryson, but that doesn't mean that Trap Soul was made off of that. We had a Fetty Wap too. You have Tory Lanez as well, even though all that. But we do have Tory Lanez. But that's not Trap Soul to me, Hugh. Bryson did something that never has been done. I'm talking about in a Trap Soul. He made trap beats with R&B and put a spin on it with his soul. We didn't hear that before, bro. Like songs like "Don't," you cannot tell me something
that
that's
was like
close to it.
People spent all their time trying to find
time that don't. And it's just like we've heard all type of music.
Exchanges.
I haven't. Yeah, that's why people hold Bryson in such a high regard, such as Frank Ocean too. Like with Channel Orange and Trap Soul, those sounds we might have. You like, oh yeah, well it may like remind you of somebody, but those type of projects we have not experienced before. They really took it to another place, and that's the only reason. That's the only reason I give. Exactly. That's the only reason I give Bryson the edge for me personally as an album, because Control was amazing, and she is the modern day. She's gonna be a modern day GOAT herself, SZA. But it reminded me of India Ivory, Baduism, and which is legendary, and that don't make it any less of a classic. But I was just saying, for me, in my perspective, like, and when it came out in 2015, like that Trap Soul hit me in too many different ways. He came out of nowhere. SZA did too, but Bryson, he came out of nowhere and went crazy. That song don't since 2015, you play it now and it still has the same replay vibe.
Still slaps.
So it was just that's a tough one to me. And then SZA what Control did for the plight of the black woman.
Yeah, I think that's why I would play that's why. Because I feel like Trap Soul was more like for us,
exactly,
as men, and
that's true.
And that's why we gravitate towards it more. And the only reason I give the edge to SZA is because women, especially black women, when women get behind something, they tend to do a better job than we do.
Yep.
When they finally decide to get behind and support something,
right.
They tend to it's like for example, try saying something negative about Beyonce.
Right.
You will regret it very quickly.
Right. Or the bars.
Or Nicki Minaj. You will regret it. We don't really do stuff like that.
Right.
So when this album came out, it was one of those times where women just really got behind it. Even if the message probably wasn't the best, the women really got behind that album and just they just shoved SZA to the front. The women got behind the album so much, it's like the same criticism that Bryson got, SZA never got, and she hasn't put an album out since this album for 3 years. But ever since Bryson dropped Trap Soul, people have been looking for the next joint, and when the next joint came out, they were like, it's not that great. And then this joint came out, they're like, it's alright, it's not that great. SZA is still being praised for this album. People are still content with only having this. They're finally happy that she's back. They've been waiting for her to come back, but she hasn't gotten the same type of criticism that Bryson's got. And I think it's because of all that support that the women have given her from this amazing album. So I can't personally speak to it from a musical sense because I wasn't too heavy on it when they first came out. I'm more of a rap guy. I love R&B, but I'm more of a rap guy than R&B.
I like that point of view.
But just from somebody I'm not blind to the culture. So as somebody who's seeing what's going on in real time, I think I would give the edge to SZA just because of when women decide to get behind something, it's a force. I respect.
You
really can't you can't combat it. You gotta just be like, you got it.
For sure. I really respect that opinion, Hugh. I ain't never even look at it in that way. That's a good way of putting it about how women support certain things, and after a woman supports certain things, that's going to take it to a whole nother level.
Because you think about wait till this Keisha Cole and Ashanti battle actually happens.
Right.
Like the men are going to have to just take a seat and enjoy quietly. Let the women get their stuff off because they're going to go crazy.
For certain. So that's our decade, man. The best albums of the decade for sure. It's been an amazing decade.
And I know we missed some albums, but we can't name everything.
Right, we can't name everything. We try to keep it at 15 because it's very hard to put a decade of albums in just one. So lastly, would you rather? Would you rather have unlimited international first class tickets, or never have to pay for fast food or restaurant again? Like never pay for food at a fast food restaurant.
I love to eat, but I also love to travel. I'm gonna go with international first class seats, only because traveling internationally, those flights are hella long, and they usually last, like, depending on where you're going, you might be in the air for 36 hours, and I would love to be in the air in comfort, in complete comfort, with my own seat, a blanket, the best.
That long, bro.
Yeah, like if I would be on a plane for that long, going somewhere international, I would love to be in the best of situations. So I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna pick their unlimited international first class flights tickets. Yeah,
I would say honestly, to me, that it's a tough one to me, just because of, like you just said, alluding to, like, if you fly in first class, you would love to fly in luxury, especially for that long.
Yeah,
but I can't be in the air. I'm gonna get anxiety if I'm in the air that long. But like, honestly, just being real, like international travel, I love to travel, and I feel like that would be an amazing experience. But I'm going to choose fast food or restaurants because, Hugh, let's be real, a week, how much money do you, now I ain't saying put a number on it, but do you not spend a lot of money on food going out?
That's true.
If I can erase that off of the budget,
that's true.
You know how much money you'll be saving a week? So I'm thinking of it like, I could be saving money.
And you can take a woman anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Hey. So, and exactly. So, like, when you go out, anything like that, having everything just paid for, you don't got to pay for anything. Hey, man, that is the vibe. Yeah. So
I feel like I would abuse that too much and I get out of shape.
That too, though. You can easily abuse that, and you get out of shape real quick. Have yourself looking at yourself in the mirror crazy. But for sure, this is an amazing episode, man. Love you guys, man. It's been
appreciate the
a
support.
roller coaster of a year, but 2020, we made it, Brody. We made it, bro. Much love, bro. I appreciate you for everything, bro. We just elevating, bro. We elevating. So make sure you go shop. We are Game Shift. You got your hats.
Hats is $20 right now, man. They might go back up to 30. I don't know. We'll get them while they 20.
So get them while they hot now. Make sure you go shop BSBP.
Be safe, be dangerous.
You already know how we coming.
We got the pink sweatsuits for the ladies, the black one for the men's. Go get you some of that.
Go get some of that. And lastly, yours truly, handcrafted jewelry by yours truly, bracelets, necklace, waist beads. Hey, I'm leveling up, and just like we are with this podcast, we leveling up. So thank you guys for an amazing year and tuning in. Please like and subscribe. And guess what? See you guys next year.
Yep. Leave your comments. See y'all next year, man.
Facts.
See you next year.
One.
Peace.